So today is another free talk video, and I'm going to talk about another maybe controversial topic. And I like doing these because this is my everyday conversation. Honestly, this is how I talk to my friends all the time. This is what we talk about. And today's conversation, our topic of conversation, is: when does reverse racism become racist? So, okay, reverse racism. Reverse racism has been kind of floating around. That's been a tagline or a word that people have been using for a while and trying to prove. So, it's either been trying to prove or disprove whether reverse racism actually exists or it doesn't exist. So the definition, like the actual definition to me, I might just pop it up on a screen. So the definition of racism to me, and this is not verbatim, is when you're just discriminatory or prejudiced against someone just based on the color of their skin, when it can be acts of violence, or it can be microaggressions, or it can just be like you do not prefer that person just based on the color of their skin. To me, that is what racism is. So there's been a new sort of term or definition of racism that's been sort of the university or be flown around a lot of universities, that you cannot be racist against anyone that has more power than you. Like if you are the minority or the oppressed or whatever, you cannot be racist against someone who has more power than you. So there's no such thing as reverse racism, especially if it's between black or white or minorities against the majority. So there's no such thing as reverse racism. And I'm not going to argue that. Like, well, honestly, to me, racism is racism no matter however way you cut it. Racism, to me, is racist. There are black people who say, like, black people can't be racist, but they can be discriminatory or prejudiced, which to me, they're, like, all in the same pot. Like, to me, racist, prejudice, discriminatory behavior, that's all kind of the same thing, especially if you're basing it just on someone's skin color. Not to say that I understand that there is history there between black and white, and we can all talk about that, what that is. We already know about slavery and segregation and all that stuff. Some people say it's impossible to be racist against your oppressor. And that's if you feel like you are oppressed or you have it or you have oppressors. I'm a big believer in treating others how you want to be treated. That's how I was raised, that's what I believe in. To me, it's anti-productive to tell the masses or tell society as a culture we're sick of being treated a certain way, but in return we're going to treat you the same way we're asking you not to treat us. Like, to me, that's just not productive and doesn't really make any sense to me. Like, you just treat others how you want to be treated. When does reverse racism become racist? Particularly on a recent video that was uploaded by a bunch of black teenage kids who kidnapped and tortured or brutalized a white teen or young adult male that I believe has special needs, but I'm not sure about that. And in the video, they said, "Fuck Trump supporters," which most of us believe all Trump supporters are white, which is not factually true, but the majority of Trump supporters are probably white or Caucasian. But they said, "Fuck Trump supporters," and they also said, "Fuck all white people," or "Fuck white people." And there's a lot of the media are coming out, Black Lives Matter supporters are coming out saying that that was not a hate crime, that that was not racist. It was just a bunch of stupid teenagers doing stupid teenage stuff. You know, it's like you might as well just say, like, oh, teenage boys raping other girls. That's just boys being boys. They weren't trying to rape her or hurt her. They were just being boys. It's kind of like saying that, like, oh, they're just being teenagers. Like, that's just what teenagers do. And the fact that if you, like, no one can tell me if you replace the white guy with a black person that the world wouldn't be up in arms right now, that every media outlet would have been calling out a hate crime, that they're racist. If it was reversed, if it was a black male and it was a bunch of white teenagers going, "Fuck Black Lives Matter, fuck black people," you really think that the media would be saying, like, that's not a hate crime, or that's not racist, or that has nothing to do with it? I don't think so. But it's the whole argument of, like, well, they're black and he's white, so they can't be racist because there's no such thing as reverse racism. And you can't be racist if you're the minority against the majority. And, I mean, if you want to go just on that event alone, he was the minority in that event. Like, they were the majority. There was a few of them, and there was a few of them and it was only one of him. So in that case, he was the minority. But it's kind of like, okay, if that isn't racism, if that's not like a hate crime, I don't know what is anymore. Like, I don't know what is a hate crime. I don't know what racism is anymore if that's not it. Because they said it on camera. Fuck Trumps. All Trump supporters, fuck white people. They said it on camera. Like, if they literally, I feel like they literally could have said, like, by the way, this is a hate crime and we're racist and we hate all white people. I still think the media would have spinned it some way and said, like, oh no, because there's no such thing as reverse racism because everything's PC culture and political correctness and all this stuff. And for me, that is a hate crime. That's what racism looks like. That's the same when white people used to lynch black people and torture them. Like, it's the same thing. Like, they did this to this kid based on the color of his skin because he was white, and people think all Trump supporters are white, and he was white. That's why they did it. They didn't do it for any other reason, but because of that. And the fact that they posted it online publicly, they didn't feel that what they were doing were wrong whatsoever, makes me feel like this whole idea of, like, well, black people can't be racist is going a little bit too far. Like, when does it become racist then? When is it reverse racism or just racism in general? Maybe we should just stop saying reverse racism. Maybe we should just take that word away and just say that is racist, that is a hate crime. But, you know, I want to know what you guys think. Do you just think, like, wrong is wrong is wrong is wrong, no matter what color somebody's skin is? I know what my opinion is. Tell me what you guys think. Put in a comment in the comment section below. Like this video again if you want to like it. Share this video if you want to share it. It really helps, guys. If you want to continue to follow me on this beautiful, crazy game called life, please subscribe. And if you subscribe, hit the bell so you can get the notifications when I do upload. And check out the links below. Thank you guys again from Live, Love, Life, and Travel.